So we are at the halfway point of the gold medal match. Sweden currently 3-1 up. The bronze medal game going alongside on the adjacent sheet. Little fewer stones in play, I think, on this one. 1-0 after 4 ends. We've had stones galore in play, but less so in the bronze medal match. It's Spain who lead 1-0 over Switzerland. Also at their half-time. So Sweden lead 3-1. 4 ends of the final left to play in this year's 2024 World Mixed Curling Championship, brought to you live from Curl Aberdeen. Alan Chalmers, Rona Howie in the box.
Yeah, it's been a great game so far, Alan.
What a lot of stones have been in play.
They have, and a lot of fantastic shots, especially by the skips. Oh, just looking to see if that's in or not. They can have a measure if they feel.
There is a special device that the umpires can use. Device is maybe a bit of an over-exaggeration.
A measure.
There's a 6-foot stick.
Yes. Not a stick, a measure. Oh, they are going to bring it on so you can see it. Harry Brodie hands it to the players to measure themselves to see the overbiter measure if it is in or not, because it makes a difference if it's in the free guard zone.
Signals it looks like the stone did touch the end of that measuring rod, and it will be in the rings.
It is. So that makes a difference, because if Japan went to draw round, they can split that into the house if it's touching the rings, whereas if it was just short of the rings, they couldn't touch it off the centre line. So it's good to know for the skips. Japan, they definitely want to have cover up at this end. Nice guard, great positioning.
Altbro for a better guard with their next one. They played the tap up to keep the guard, making the guard that way. Unusual way of doing it.
Yeah, when Sweden are 3-1 up, they can just keep all play in the house. They don't need to be having too many guards out front that Japan can then use. Oh, just feathers that top one again.
It's almost into double figures for stones that have just caught on a guard.
And that red has been punched to a place where it blocks that in-turn draw behind the corner now for Japan. Johannes Bat's certainly putting some more rotation on this one. He lost a few earlier on in the game. Just with over curling.
Let's try to close this gap. Didn't quite finish, so Japan can see the counter.
Yeah, Japan just need to capitalise on these mistakes now. They're only 2 down. Just play to go for their 2 here, but as long as they score, they're still in the game.
Makes contact with the red and moves it away from the button. It rolls the shooter out. Red one goes very deep, not threatening, but he would like to have kept the shooter more importantly in play there.
So Japan line shot, Sweden just making a play. Trying to get that to curl. Does remove it, but loses shooter.
Yeah, quite a defensive play, I guess. Take that stone in the back ring, but really wanted to hold that if they could do. So.
And the way the guards are placed, it's not ideal for Japan to be drawing through, but there is the gap there. Again, sweeping this coast to coast.
Yeah,
making them work hard today.
They really have sweat well today. They've sweat a lot of stones, both teams. Oh dear, taps up.
It was a hard way to come through there, coming off the high guard.
Yeah, totally.
Sometimes you're better coming round the high guard just to make sure you get into the rings.
Yeah, because once it started pulling there, it was really difficult to rescue, wasn't it? Especially probably just slightly underweight again. Between ticked guards or nicked guards and stones just under the weight. Sweden with the comfort of a 2-point lead. Don't need to go crazy on tactics, quite happy to take out this yellow guard.
Ideally would like to nose that so it blocked that draw again, but just rolls away. Yeah, Japan need to watch if they come round that one, because the plant in the reds is really good for Sweden.
Again, threading this line is difficult coming from left to right.
Yeah, come round the high guard into the 4-foot. We're going to try it. HASE's coming out the left-hand hack, so a slightly different angle.
trying to keep it high as long as they can.
Again, working so hard. Just not enough weight. Line was great there.
Absolutely, the line really was good. It was a difficult line to thread, we keep saying it. If you throw top 12 weight, it's even harder work for the sweepers. So this time Rebecca Thune would like to keep the red. Central if she can do. Okay, well that draw has probably been eliminated now. So Japan have to find a different path.
Hayden coming round the red on the left hand side, come round the high side, or through the gap the other way.
Yep, right round the
Come
solitary.
out either hand there.
Come round the solitary guard on the left.
Don't make it too complicated. You know, you just want to get one in there first into the forefoot. And they're not getting a chance to use the corner. And they put up.
Just need to make this somewhere it's hard for Sweden to chase.
Line's looking great, but again these sweepers just working the whole way. Well, it's in for shot.
Yeah, very, very good sweep. I thought it was going to come up a little shy again, but it does lie mostly hidden.
And with that guard being longer, there is a bit more room to chase. But Sweden have also got reds out there that they could use to tap up. But I certainly think it's worth chasing this yellow.
Chase this. If you take tight ice, you flick the red guard off and then it should move in towards those reds. Let's get the tap up as well, but I think that's more risky. You don't want to flash everything by.
No, just a hack weight.
Simon Groundbom has been really excellent on his lower weight strikes today. In the zone.
Oh,
gets round again.
Great shot. Johannes Pats, what a sweep. That was heading for that guard the whole way down the ice.
Yeah, just squeaked by it and then held the shooter there. Excellent sweeping.
The good thing for Japan is we can just see there past the guard by absolutely nothing. But for Japan, there is a hit and roll either way here, and they will lie shot.
Yep, and I think if you get in behind the sort of three reds that are together, the angles could be tricky. It won't be a long drive you'd have to play, but the angles might not be great if you rolled behind the certainly be in the right hand too.
ICHITSUBO's played a lot of great draws. Can he get the hit and roll? Oh, how unlucky,
Yeah.
just rolled to the open.
Played it well, but just that lighter weight, it rolled off it too much.
Now, although they're trying to set up for their two, they'll not be too worried that there's still plenty room in the house to draw for one at the end of the end. Because already he'll start be thinking about what he's going to play.
So I think if Sweden just hit this one right on the nose, that could make the draw in and the in-turn rather tricky. Or half a roll in.
Could roll right across behind these reds and be further in the 8 foot, make the draw harder.
Just roll half a stone in. I wouldn't have to come right round the outside of it, rather than inside it. Rolled out the way, so it gives Japan quite a lot of room now.
But it's been a well played end by Sweden to get the force here. When you're 2 up, it's a great result to force your opposition to draw for 1.
ICHITSUBO Shun with the last stone of the 5th end. He's 3-1 down. Facing 3 Swedish counters, so needs to score. Quite a lot of room to come round and into the 8 foot, into the 4 foot. It's looking pretty nice. His weight control again has been wonderful all afternoon, and again finds the tee line. Japan will score. They cut the deficit but still trail 3-2 as we start the 6th end. Chihiro gets us underway at the start of end 6. It was Japan who scored to close the gap 3-2. We're hoping that we get another nice messy end to describe. Lots of stones in play.
And this needs to stop. And it does.
Yeah, well done.
Nice guard. And this is where Sweden, they have last stone. They could put up a corner guard to try and keep the play away from the centre and avoid that guddle that we've seen in a couple of ends. But they're happy to keep play round the centre.
Yeah, everyone's wanting to leave this. Top 4 would have been good. Just comes a little short.
Yeah, because at the 6th end they're starting to think, okay, 3 ends left to go. Sweden have got 2 hammers, so 1 for Japan. So as long as Sweden score at this end, they are in a really good position.
Again, using the sweepers to take it all the way, and that's really well thrown, well judged.
Okay, just looking to play the perfect freeze. Don't want to come up short, even if you tap it. They've got last stone, they don't want to block this centre. Oh dear. Not ideal from Michaela.
Yeah, not so good that one. I'd like to be round the guard. Yeah, just another guard is fine at the moment. They don't need to be going into the rings. Just all guard to begin with. See what Sweden do after this. They're needing to steal to win the game possibly, but not to steal 2 to win the game maybe, but it's only the 6th end. Sweden need to start clearing up a little bit here.
Yeah, absolutely.
As
we said, they just need to score at this end.
Too many stones in play.
They could get all 3 guards moving here. Catch the red that's top 12 as well. On it straight away, tide of line. Oh dear.
Gets 2 away but leaves 1, so it's effectively a single takeout.
It just really favours Japan now, the way these guards are placed. So Japan will just bring a second counter right into the 4-foot. They're happy with the setup at the front of the house just now.
Yeah, good chance now to make it better now that the guards are lined up in that formation.
And just tap this. Don't want to go back T. And very nice. HASEGAWA. Nice tap. The only benefit for Sweden, it's in the open, so they can make a play on that.
Yep, get to the nose of that red by the brush now. 1 inch off the nose maybe. Clear everything and roll your shooter out to the side.
Yeah, has to come quite close to the guard. Just didn't curl enough. But does bring it off the 1 foot slightly to the edge. So this is where Japan have to make the decision. If there's two other reds in the house, do they hit or do they keep guarding? They've got to, at this stage, think they can't afford to lose a big end when it's the sixth end of the game.
Yeah, I think they can hit and roll to make the cover, the extra cover.
Yes.
That they're looking for. But it's difficult because he plays such a quiet weight. It's hard to generate a roll from her throw.
Just really want to roll to where the brush is. So half behind the yellow guard and half covering the short stone. This looks pretty good. Can they hold it? Oh, look at this.
Rolls it back.
Very nice.
Yeah, it was a little wobbly throw, but she got it in the right place. And actually rolled quite far. It can just cover the inside of the shot stone with the little bit that is tucking out.
Sweden in a bit of trouble now. If you go for the run back on that red and don't make it, you've taken away all your options. Yeah, Pats would rather play to the short stone. It is a good call to try and get this off the edge of the 1 foot because you might not get another chance and it would be very hard to outdraw that.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. I think exactly why you say, Aaron, you've got to move this one now. Yeah, you can.
Really nice weight. Yep, good shot. You just don't want Japan to roll inside though.
Well, I was going to say just that half inch of a roll that came out created a bit of daylight to the inside line of the stone. Hirako can play this one again like she's just done. Rolling into the 1 foot again.
And it's getting higher up, so Japan don't want to nose this in case there could be a potential double.
Waiting for this one to start moving and then they'll try and hold it. Little roll inside.
Very quiet weight.
Punches it far enough through, so again, Japan are really good too here.
And this goes back to, at this sixth end, we said Sweden just need to score here to keep that advantage with 2 ends to go. They can round that centre guard with their lead stones and not go into the wing.
Attempted to, they didn't even make it, they made it worse, they didn't actually make the shot.
So they've actually been sucked into the Japanese game here rather than playing their own game.
Yeah, totally. I think you're 1 up with the hammer and 6. You're trying to just score a simple 2. Make yourself creative.
But even a 1, then you're 2 up with only 2 ends to go.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right. They just got suckered in this red stone that's just outside, just touching the front of the rings with the very first lead stone by Sweden. And they've never been able to really move it since. Facing two really good Japanese counters here. Good job picking one of them out.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't see much of that one. That red is still there to angle onto that yellow, so Japan need to get another one round. Yeah, looking at the two options, hitting the red at the back that's lying second shot, or playing the come around. By playing the hit in the red, you're eliminating a big end as well. But it is back of the 12 foot. Yeah, I like the come around.
On the in turn, you can come around on the out turn. More room to come round and onto the button on the out.
Yeah, either or. I think they just have to get that second counter into the... just biting the forefoot. Sweepers seem quite happy with the weight.
Kenny's just hit the tee line every single time he's been required to do it, hasn't he? There's another one.
He really has a great command of draw weight today. Sweden could follow and just play a back four weight just to tap the yellow back. It's been a wee while since Grand Bomb's played a draw.
Yeah. Saw on the first end play a pick out. And the stone was frozen, so he's not afraid to kind of throw a hard one at it if he had to. This time he's just electing to freeze up onto it.
The angle on the red just biting the top 12. It is still there to run back if required. This is very high of line.
The weight looks good now, it's just about getting this finish.
Here it comes. Is it going to come enough?
Here it comes now. If you can get to the nose of it, it's going to be really close for shot stone. Well judged.
Very well judged. Well played. He doesn't look too happy with it. Who is shot? Oh, now. Maybe that's why he's not too happy with it. What do you think, Alan?
Still favouring yellow, I think, there. Japan just cover this one up now. Got to be careful because it's not terribly difficult to move the red, even if there's a yellow one that they're using themselves. So it's quite a long guard. If they think they're lying shot. Even if they're not, maybe don't think Sweden can score any more than two. Any more than one.
Yeah, that one just took a long time to start curling, and an inch more of curl, and that was perfect.
Slightly different line, this one. And this one to stop, don't they?
Yeah, I don't want it to over curl because you can come round it. Oh, maybe too far. I think you can still come round that.
Just play the same shot to touch your red a little bit better. We don't know who's lying short, so I think if you move it half a centimetre, that'll take all the guesswork out of it.
You only need to play a back 4 weight. Just need to nudge your red. This could be dangerous if they hit red onto yellow onto the red and leave Japan line 2. Should always catch the back yellow though. Do you not think, Alan, you could come round in that intern? Past
totally.
the guard? The guard's high.
He's just played it. As I say, he only needs to move it, we think, less than a centimetre. So even if he just drew to the very side of it and pushed it across, you get your one. If he thinks there's a shot here, it might be for the 3. Push red onto the yellow.
Well, it's risk versus reward at this stage in the game.
Yeah, this could open up a 4-point advantage if this goes correctly, or even a 3-point if he doesn't make it absolutely perfectly. This might be enough.
Still think at the 6th end though, as long as you score. I would just be quite happy to come round and tap the red. You'll have to move it an inch. So looking to run the red onto the yellow, onto the red-yellow combination.
Yep, he's a man who likes these big shots. So this is last stone of the 6th end. Wants to be quite high on the red. Well, he did one of the jobs, which was to score. Just need to be a little thicker on the very front one. A very good attempt, but after 6 ends, Sweden will lead 4 points to 2. 2 ends to play. Maybe a missed opportunity for Sweden in the 6th, or scoring 1 is good enough. We'll never know, but it was a great attempt. Sweden lead 4-2. Got themselves into a little bit of bother there by ignoring all the wide open spaces in the wings and came to the centre.
Yep. Both teams have 1 hammer each, and I think we'll see a corner guard from Japan now to try and generate multiple end here.
So Japan do throw up the corner. Quite a long one at the moment. So not too threatening for Sweden.
Yeah, so Sweden want to make sure they don't leave any guards. Keep it simple.
Yep, they don't need any guards this time. Happy to give Japan 1. Keep the hammer down 8, but this has come up a little high. She's just lost her draw weight a little bit since the second half. Michaela could afford to be right up to that red stone, pushing it up.
Yeah, you don't want to give your opposition free guards.
Yeah, I'm just saying that the yellow guard wasn't very dangerous, but all of a sudden it's now got some. It's got a friend. Makes it a little harder. That was definitely a wobble. Seemed to get the stone away okay. See on the side of the picture there is another game, of course, going on. That's the bronze medal game. Even tighter than this one. It's 2-2 in the 7th end. Switzerland will have the hammer. It's interesting they're playing that game, but I guess a world medal is a world medal.
Absolutely. Japan could come round the high side of this guard and draw in. They need to try and generate a few points at this end. And Sweden will be quite glad that Japan are still hitting.
Yeah, you don't want to go down meekly, do you? You want to at least say you tried. They managed to get Parity behind the cover with that down weight. It wasn't the called shot, but lies stone behind the guards. Open.
Yeah, we haven't really seen enemy draw right round the high side of these corner guards. They've all come from the centre across, and there is a really good finish there. You know, even if Sweden hit this in the nose, Japan could just ignore them and come right round.
Yeah, so we'd like to come inside this, roll towards the centre. Can ignore it, or they could chase it back ring weight. Japan just need to lift this a little bit. They're not making this very difficult for Sweden to defend at the moment.
Yeah, especially rolling out, it's not ideal. Yeah, and that guard from Sweden is not very helpful to them at this stage. They want to keep things as simple as possible.
Yeah, just that's exactly what you don't want is a guard that's going to help your opposition.
Oh my goodness, working this one hard to get it in the house.
Yeah, they've really had to do an awful lot of sweeping. Both teams just kind of lost that top 4 feel, but presumably that's what they've been so good at all week to get them here.
Now Japan have to ignore that and come right round. Yep, round that way, round the high guard, get buried, make it difficult for Sweden. Really have to leave the harder shots for your opposition.
There's so much room coming round the wide side. Coming round the middle's favouring Sweden. Seem to have locked their brain up here. There's a lot of nothing happening.
They're going to call a timeout.
Just feel you've got to take the game on here, haven't you? You've got to try and take your 2. There's been a lot of stones in play, so stealing the last not impossible to win. So take the game on, come round.
Yeah, they have to come around behind the cover. Leave the harder shot for Sweden to play.
Yeah, you can understand you don't want to come behind the button because Sweden can drive up the one in the ring, so come round a little wider, leave the edge of the 4 foot, edge of the 1 foot.
Yeah, that yellow guard is so high. I think they're looking at this now, finally, Alan. Oh, change their mind, back this way.
You just go there and Sweden freeze on you and your chance for 2's well nigh over. That's what they want to play.
But at least they're drawing and not hitting. Initially they were going to play the hit on the front one. No, having another look. Oh, we're going for the draw. That's good.
So if you're going to play this, you're going to play it perfectly, so it's going to be round.
Oh dear, it's coming up short. That could have been afforded to be back 8 weight there.
It's just absolutely what Sweden wanted, of course. Centre guard.
Yeah, so now Sweden can come round top 4 and get there first.
Back in 2 minutes, we're waiting a long time to play this shot.
So plenty of room It's all about the weight here. It's got a long way to draw. Perfect weight.
Yeah, would have been ideal, wouldn't it?
Yeah, just didn't get the line right.
Yeah, and didn't finish just as big as some of the other ones we've seen either. Chance to soft hit and roll into the 1 foot.
Yeah, this is Japan's chance here. Really is a must-make roll for them.
Yeah, this has been her strength though. Yes, no, somebody's right.
Here it comes. Oh, very nice. That's where we wanted them to draw to, Alan.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Just coming
they've
right.
got there.
Coming right round. So well called. Again, that's just been her strength with that little quiet taps. Doesn't throw a big weight, but you don't need to if you're accurate.
And Sweden 2 up. Ideally, they would like to just give up a 1 here and be 1 up with the hammer. But if they give up 2, it's not a disaster. So important here, the stone positioning for Sweden. They don't want to come deep. Ideally, just sit top of the 1 foot, lie shot.
Line looks good. It's going to come round into the 1 foot now. They just want it to stop.
Oh dear, that's not good there.
It's not great now. All of a sudden, a 3 becomes an option.
Absolutely. That had to sit top of the tee. Even if it was second shot that he could then tap with his next. But now, a great chance for Japan.
Yeah, just slid on the deep now. So can ICHITSUBO find the right weight here? He's been on it all day. So if he can come top 1 foot here, Rona.
Yeah, Sweden are in a lot of trouble.
This looks like the first one he's missed all day though. Is it going to have the weight? Can they drag it and drag it? No, they can't. Oh dear.
Gosh. It's getting tense out there now.
That's such a big swing in fortune there for Sweden. From this had gone into what, top 1. 3 might have been an option, and now all of a sudden they can get one in buried and take the game away from Japan.
Even if Sweden block this side, I still think you could come around the yellow on the high side, on the right hand side of the sheet, to get into the 4 foot. It does finish so big.
There is a finish, not as big as this intern finish we think, but there is still a finish, and it's only got to get a stone 3/4 into the red circle.
Yes, I think Sweden need to try and play for top 4, and if the line's great here, sweep it and just take it in. Just can't afford to hang out. So line's looking good. What's the weight?
Can they take this one in as well? Again, they're just coming up a little shorter. So leaves quite plenty of room for Japan.
I think the yellow guard being higher, you've got more room to come round, whereas that red one, top 12, you need to come round it tight and get into the forefoot, which is still, it's still there.
Yeah, it's just how you see it yourself, isn't it? Which hand you'd like to play on. There's quite a lot of room on the out turn when you look at it like that. It's really shouldn't be taking this long to make up their mind. It's a draw to the forefoot. The last stone of the 7th end. ICHITSUBO for Japan. Lies one already. Can he turn it into a 2? There's a big draw path to find right round these guards and into the forefoot. And if he does, he'll tie up the game. So just cut the ice a little just to create a little more tension. He has been on the money for draws all game, apart from the last one, so can he correct?
So he's past the yellow guard.
Line looks nice now, so if this finishes, comes into the forefoot, he will score his 2. Is it going to curl? Is it going to curl? Of course
Yes,
it is.
That's perfect.
He's the man of the day so far for draw weight. Japan.
That was the draw we've been wanting all end.
Japan will score their 2. Took a long time, but they got their 2. So 7 ends played. It's 4 all. That's a 1-end shootout. So we expect this to be the last end of this enthralling, if rather slow final. But it's been high quality shot making by the skips that's made it such a tight game. Japan took their 2 with the hammer there. Peels without the hammer, so they want cover. Sweden, whose tactics have just crumbled a little bit in the last couple of ends, just want to keep things clear and wide and open. But I haven't seen Simon call that for a while now. Electing to go into the middle first again. You're shaking your head, Rona.
Yeah, coming to the middle's fine. Sweden need to score here. And we know Japan are going to keep guarding up the front, but Sweden need to keep this top tee. That's good there.
Yeah, it's better this end. They've called that the last couple, and unfortunately Michaela's just come up short, and that's really what's created the problems for them. Too many guards too early.
But they could just have drawn to the wing there as well, just to keep things open.
Yep. Yeah, because if Japan can freeze on this one.
But they just haven't played that tactic all game. You know, they want to play round the centre, so a bit like mixed doubles curling, you're always coming round the centre. And that's another nice guard from Japan. Both of them touching the centre line, so they cannot be ticked from play. They're touching the centre, so while it's still in the free guard zone, Sweden cannot touch those.
No sweepers involved in this one so far, but the line looks okay, so this will just begin to slow down now onto the other stone. I think the key thing for Sweden here is what do they do once they're able to start hitting?
They have to peel.
Probably a better call coming round on this hand onto the face of the Reds than and then turning, angling them. The line looks good. Come onto the face of these red ones. Don't need to move them too far yet.
No, we'll just freeze on top. That's nice there.
Now.
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 Please walk out to the front
Now.
and start peeling.
I know you're lying. I know you're lying too. And it looks like it's difficult for Japan to do much. Especially those guards being quite close together, Rona.
Absolutely.
It's all
the double peel is there, and you might not get a better chance. You don't want to be sucked into this guddle behind the guards, and then all of a sudden you're having to peel later in the end.
Sweden just having a little bit of a think about this. You may see the gentleman behind the glass there with the Swiss flag indicating that Switzerland have won the bronze. They will take the bronze medal home. Spain, who have been close 2 years in a row now to winning the title, will have to settle for fourth. I can't believe he's called the guard in the centre.
Right now, if you're Japan, you're quite pleased you see Sweden calling a guard.
Yeah, the more stones are in play, the more chance you just get a bad break with something, and
they only need one to win.
Both teams only need one to win.
Yes, but Sweden have got the last stone, so if it's open, they've got more chance of scoring that one. Anyway, this tactic has worked. They've won 9 games out of 9.
Yes.
So
we cannot criticise them.
We cannot say anything. Tactics always are good if you play the shots.
So another one online, not a guard, but so the risk here now is that Japan could get one into the button behind everything. Or freezing where the brush is now might be a good call, Rona.
Yep, if they come round that yellow, touch the button. HASEGAWA. Clutch draw here.
He's got a swinger.
So just splits his own. Does come out in the open a wee bit that Sweden can see it.
If Sweden are in this at all now, they might as well just keep guarding, because that yellow one's the threat now. You don't want to do the job for Japan. So the lines aren't great for Japan. So guard or just hit and roll into the more into the line of the stones, but just don't be wide.
Yeah, you can play the hit on it, and even if you take the guard, you would be quite happy. But they're committed to this game now. Sweden's thinking is the yellow, as we're looking at it on the left-hand side of the centre line, Japan need quite a few stones to be able to get that yellow into play and remove both reds behind. So if they guard this other yellow, there is no easy angle for Japan. So they looked at guarding this, but deciding now just to play a hack weight, try and get to the inside. But they can't afford to be out at all, jam yellow onto red, or even roll their shooter out, because then it's something Japan can use.
Yeah, absolutely. The fact that everything's quite narrow is bizarre is actually helping Sweden at the moment. But if they create width, Japan use it. There's no good angles.
Oh, they left it late, and it was neither or shot. You've either got to take the guard or the shot, and didn't do either.
So just
now Japan can see more of that yellow.
Tick the guard and moved it straighter, so Japan can make a play, even if they raise up their yellow onto the second red. They would also create some width for themselves because their shooter will roll out.
I think that was a very tough call there to make that shot for Sweden.
Yep. If you're going to hit that one, I would think hit it harder. Yeah, at the moment, you've got reds in the 4 foot, but they look impregnable, but you just never know.
But a couple of good taps from Japan, and all of a sudden your reds aren't in a good position.
Absolutely, no.
If they tap this red onto yellow onto the two reds, you remove the red that shot stone, but then yellow would be sitting second.
This game has just totally got into paralysis. I know it's important, and the shots are key, but we can't have games of curling lasting this long with 3 minutes discussion per stone.
To be fair, Japan are probably confused by the tactics Sweden are playing here. They would have expected Sweden to play a very clean end. So now all of a sudden they're thinking, oh, what do we do?
A little glimmer of a chance here.
Yeah.
I think they're not the only ones that are confused. So here's to play yellow onto the middle red and lock it. Really just lost their plot of what they're actually trying to achieve here, which is create something. You can't really lie shot now, okay? But you don't need to be lying shot now. You need to be lying shot. 4 more stones.
Absolutely, it's all about setup. I do think if they could tap the 2 reds with the yellow and tap the back red back, then Japan would lie second shot and in a really good position because it's frozen on the other red.
I know the umpires haven't intervened all the way through, and it would be churlish to do so now, but they need to get this moving along.
Absolutely. There's no time clocks at this event, and the umpires do keep a watch on the time that the players are taking. Japan have used their timeout.
Wow, this one's taken 6 minutes. Call's been made. Looks like it's going to be the tap, angled tap into the reds.
Catch it quite thin.
Yeah, I would like it maybe a little bit thinner still.
Yeah, so what's that left at the back of the house? So now there is a slash double on those reds for Japan if Sweden moved this yellow. So they need to be very careful here. And also, with the ice sitting for that length of time, it does change.
Absolutely, no, it'll frost up a little bit. It's not got stones or feet moving over it. So it will change. It'll maybe just run slightly differently. So this puts a little bit of pressure on this shot. So looks like they're just going to try and come lie, create the basket, create the triangle of stones. Again, Rebecca Thurman's been waiting a long time to play this shot. Again, just needing the sweepers to drag it as far as they can. And lock inside that yellow one. So it's protected the tap on the right hand side with the way the angles are going.
But there is still a slash double on the right hand side.
Again,
it would spin the other yellow, but that yellow at the top of the four
Yeah.
would lie short.
I wouldn't. You know, if it's all about setup, what you got to be careful is you try and set something up on this sort of congested pack, and Sweden do eventually just cover you up. Do you think that you try and put one to the left-hand side, high, which is the one that you then come in and off with your last stone? Then Sweden can't cover both shots. Are you thinking you can slash the furthest right red?
Not now.
No.
Later on in the end.
I just don't know if the middle
That's
red would
there.
go.
But if Japan could come in and play the tap on this red, red, yellow, that yellow's coming into the two reds as well. And all of a sudden, that red that's shot becomes very lonely.
Needs to be tight to the front. Get as much of this front red as you can.
Yep, pretty good. And now yellow's lying second and third, and that red is surrounded. Sweden have to be very careful. Just caught enough of that to spring the yellow in. Very nice.
Yeah, I like getting that yellow into those two reds because it really can't go anywhere. And they've created some width. They've created width on both hands.
Yes. I quite like coming off the red onto the yellow, punch the yellow back, and roll the shooter right across in to between the yellow and red. And it gives Japan nothing to work with on that side.
Yeah, so hit the red that's just behind Toonman.
Yep, that red on the left of the forefoot.
Roll to the middle.
Push the yellow back that's lying second shot and roll your shooter. So you come across the top of that yellow on the right hand side of the button into your red, and you kind of punch the yellow red sideways.
Yeah, the only danger might be that could you advance the yellow to B shot stone? It doesn't look like it because it looks like the red's right on the button itself. You could come down and just hit this on the nose.
But then if you leave a double on the reds...
Can you get low side? And in behind the guards? Sorry. Okay. Swedish team's a little more autocratic. It's Simon's shots that determines it rather than the Japanese committee version, but both seem to work.
This is on the high side right now. Need this to curl. I wanted that to come across more. Who is shot?
That's yellow now. Do you think that looks yellow? I do.
I do.
So now how did Japan defend?
Because that red right there at the brush is very easy to tap back to the yellow.
Yeah, that can be corrected by the one it's resting against.
But what if Japan came in and rested on the right hand side, freezing on the right hand side of that? If they freeze the right hand side, just where his brush is, if they come in and sit there, what do Sweden do? Right now, I would prefer to be Japan than Sweden. even though Sweden's got the last stone.
Possibly. I just think there's quite a lot of reds that Sweden can use, or stones that Sweden can use, and the short stone, is behind the tee. It's got nothing to catch it, so it can move by any of these other stones in play. Whereas red has catchers.
I'm just so surprised. The last end of the game, there's only one stone through the house.
It's not
the game is peels.
It's not a conventional last end.
No. So if Japan can get to the inside of this red...
Well, that's the thing. If they can get on the inside, I'm going to give away a shot here because the red's going to correct. Okay.
Now, what has that done? Leave Sweden lying shot.
Briefly, Japan were our champions. Now it's back to Sweden. Japan only have one stone left. That was too heavy, wasn't it? Too heavy.
So right now, Sweden have to look and see what do Japan have. How do Japan get shot? They've got a yellow on either side, but the right-hand side's always going to jam.
Yeah. So
they need to hit from this left-hand side.
Yeah. So
as we're looking at it.
And the yellow stone they need to hit to move the short stone is just out in the open, but with the swing, it's reachable.
Yeah.
So I would put the stone about where Thunmann's brush is right now.
Yeah. Because you've got to look at what option Japan have.
Well, having said that, if you put it there, they could just use it anyway. So maybe shorter, real short. Because I don't think you can move the stone that's currently lying number one stone with anything that's in the rings.
But the thing is, if Japan come off that red as we're looking at the right-hand side of the 4 foot onto the yellow, it's likely to jam the red onto yellow. So I would say this left-hand side is their only straightforward shot.
Grandmum's calling a real short guard.
Is there anything off that outside yellow across? Because they don't...
Even then, you see yellow's locking on yellow, but it would correct. Can you come off the yellow at sort of 2 o'clock and off the back of the yellow and in?
It's just Japan need to get to these yellows at the top of the 4 foot. And right now, if they guard this, it's making Japan's job very difficult.
Yeah. Japan. It doesn't want to be too close to the rings because Japan will just play one hard into the pack and see what they get. So if he just puts this just over hog line.
Well, he's played the Gudley end, so now he's got to guard it. Oh, is it going to overcurl? Oh my. I think you could maybe... Could you come around that, Alan? I think it's just
He's
enough.
got a lot of stones to move because yellow's locked on yellow. You lose a lot of the power through that one.
Momentum will come off it, yeah. So this red...
What he could do is yellow guard onto yellow guard and hope that it clears the red there and just... So the second yellow guard catches the one that they're trying to hit. Yellow, yellow, into the yellow in the rings. Or who knows, there's yellow, yellow into the rings, you never know what might happen.
It's a very long raise.
It is, but you keep yellow, yellow onto the red by the brush, that then catches the yellow on the button and it maybe clears out. I don't know, there's too many stones to describe and they're all red and they're all red and yellow.
From that side, the left-hand side is the one that's going to jam red onto yellow. They need to come from the right-hand side to try and get the momentum to move that red. They don't need to move it far.
Yeah, so I think you have to...
So that red onto the yellow, the red at the top 12.
That's the I've worked it out.
Run it back onto the yellow.
So this yellow here at 12 o'clock, this is the one that you need to hit.
The red.
Into this yellow that's going to catch red no matter which way it goes.
Mm-hmm. And it just needs to punch the red shot stone a couple of inches to the left.
Yeah, but to get to the nose of this red one by the brush, they need to use the double yellows out front.
Yep. He's laughing.
I hope he's not got a dinner reservation.
How thin is that angle off the yellow onto the red? Or even catch that really thin. But again, they're coming at the wrong angle. You just have to play plenty weight. You only need to ricochet that red a couple of inches to the side. And I'll tell you what, Alan, if they make this, Sweden may not have a shot.
They've got a lot of stones they could use, but where, just a matter of where Japan would be lying one. The red that lies short really doesn't have an exit route coming from this side, does it? Nice things you can...
They want it to spin off the back yellow, but it's
yeah,
tough.
but even in the one at 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock would still lie. They do have to come from the other side or right down the middle. So ICHITSUBO, little bit of hidden hope, trying to make sure he can make Sweden play one more stone, but he doesn't. It doesn't catch the right stone. I think they were just trying to slash that out. Pretty good effort, but not to be for Japan. It is Sweden who win this year's title. They repeat the title that's their colleagues and won last year. It is Sweden who win 5-4 after 8. Congratulations to them. They are the world mixed curling champions 2024. So many stones in play.
Unbelievable finish. But 10 straight wins, while deserving winners of this event, without doubt. They just like to make it exciting for us and the crowd.
You certainly can't complain about number of stones in play there. There was nearly every stone in play last end. Congratulations to Japan. They do pick up their first world medal. Silver for them. But it's gold once again for Sweden. There's a confirmation. Sweden, gold medalist 2024. So that concludes all the games at Curl Aberdeen in this year's World Mixed Curling Championships. Congratulations to Sweden, who defeat Japan 5-4 in the gold medal game, and to Switzerland, who beat Spain 4-2 in the bronze medal game.